Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips, and first of all I want to let you know that on Monday, September 13th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, and 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to be doing our very first ever live. And so if you would please mark your calendars, we would love to have you join us. Those of you who haven't done it yet, just go ahead and go to our channel and be waiting, and then we can go live. And what it does is it puts up kind of a scrolling box and you can type in your questions. And so we thought that we could answer questions about Alaska and any other places. We're hoping to nail down when our next cruise is by that time. We do have a couple booked next year, but we're looking to go on one this fall, so we're planning, we need to get that ironed out, and hopefully we'll have that ready by then, and just talk about anything you'd like to talk about. We can answer questions and just have a really fun time. If you're not able to join us, just keep an eye out, because we're going to save that video and just post it so that you don't miss anything. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and that way you won't miss any of our content and you won't miss any of the fun lives that we have. And I wanted to let you know, if you didn't already know this, that it doesn't cost anything to subscribe on YouTube. You just click on that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't obligate you to anything. Really, you're just subscribing to our channel, and that just means that that you are one of our subscribers and you get to have the perks that we'll be having later on. We're going to be doing some important documents that'll come in handy when you travel and other things like that. So anyway, our video today, I just wanted to give you a summary of this cruise that we just went on the Majestic Princess. If you're new around here, we just went on the Majestic Princess to Alaska. We went round trip out of Seattle, and it was August 15th through the 22nd. And so I'm going to share with you just some of the things that we really enjoyed about the trip. So if you have been following us along, and even if you haven't, you can go back and look at our vlogs, and that'll kind of give you kind of a picture idea of where we went and what we saw. We really did have a wonderful trip. But some of the things that you really cannot take a picture of, that you just feel inside you when you go on a cruise, and especially to Alaska, are just, you know, when you go on a cruise to Alaska, you just sail into the wilderness. You get to go see this beautiful, pristine place that is remarkably an awful lot like it has always been, because the glaciers have advanced and receded, and just, you know, things have changed a little bit, but it is remarkably like it was 100 years ago and even before that. And so we get to go enjoy seeing that. We get to see the wildlife. The thing that that we always like the best about going on a cruise and when we travel are all of the really wonderful people that we meet. There's no way to really to quantify or to take a picture of all the happiness that it brings to meet wonderful people. We got to meet a lot of you who are so kind to spend some of your time with us and support us, and we got to meet a lot of other people as well that just enrich our lives. And Princess has the motto of come back new, and I really feel like we did that this time, and I always do, because I meet such wonderful people, I learn new things, and it just really renews me and helps me, makes me a different person in the long run. And so those are the things that we really enjoyed. We also, how do you take a picture of how lovely it is to just hear the waves, the ship gliding through the water, to hear the wind, and just enjoy being out on the open ocean. It is just a remarkable experience. And if you haven't experienced it yet, I highly recommend it. I mentioned in one of my other videos that my husband, you know, he went on some cruises before we were married, and I never really wanted to go on a cruise. And so finally in 2014, my sister and her husband invited us to come to Alaska, and I really didn't want to go, but they really wanted us to come, and my husband really wanted to go. And so I said, okay, I'll go one time. And I was really sure that once I went, I would have grounds to say I never wanted to go again. And you know what? I absolutely love to cruise. I meet wonderful people. It's a really nice place, a really nice way to move from one location to another location without having to continually unpack. And it just makes such better use of my travel time. And so I just wanted to let you know we had a really wonderful cruise. And so another one of our viewers, who I hope is a subscriber, asked me to go through a few things about the ship to maybe give us all a better feel about what we experienced and what to expect if you go on the Majestic Princess. And so for those of you that don't know, Majestic Princess is one of the really big royal class ships. It's huge. It's the largest size that Princess makes. And really, I would say the only thing that I really miss from their smaller ships is the promenade deck, deck 7, because on the smaller size ships that goes all the way around and you can walk all the way around. And the other thing that I miss is the open bow, and I know that that has even been closed on some of the smaller ships now. But for example, when we went to Alaska on the Star Princess, that was really nice because it has the open bow, and you could just stand right there on the front of the ship and see the glaciers coming, or see, we saw a whole bunch of dolphins as we were coming into Vancouver. Just you can see that from the open decks on the Majestic Princess, absolutely, but the viewpoint is a little bit different. And so that's mainly just all that we missed. Other than that, it is just it's a beautiful ship, and we had a really nice cruise on her. So a few of the questions that I wanted to talk about is, first of all, like the entertainment venues. So the main entertainment venues on the Majestic Princess are, first of all, the Princess Theater. It is a really large theater. If you have not cruised with Princess yet, it seats a lot of people, a few hundred people. It has a huge, beautiful stage, a magnificent sound system, great lighting. It is a really wonderful venue. On this cruise, we had a couple of different production shows which were just outstanding. I have mentioned that in some other videos, but really they're outstanding this time. And I have seen Broadway shows. I have seen a lot of excellent theater productions, and then these were very, very good. They're really good. And then The Magician was very good. And on this cruise, we also had well, they always have on the Alaskan cruises, a naturalist, and he was really outstanding. He's written a few books. His name is Michael Modilewski, if I didn't murder that. I'll put a link below though, because he has written a book called Inside Passages, and it's all about his experience of moving to Alaska from the city, and just finding out what life is really all about out in the middle of nowhere, just with all of the beauty of Alaska and the wildlife. And it really changes your perspective a little bit, and how you think about some things. And so I thoroughly enjoyed all of his lectures. I got his book. He was so kind to sign it to me, and he will, if you're on his cruise, I'm sure that he'll autograph a book to you as well. And it was just really nice. He gave really good lectures, and he gave really good commentary from the bridge as well in a lot of places. And I can't remember if I mentioned it, but he gave commentary in places that we have never had a naturalist give commentary before. So it was really, really nice. And so, but his lectures were all in the Princess Theater. And so the Princess Theater, they sometimes have some other things in there during the daytime, and that's usually where you also meet to go on your excursions if you're going to meet on the ship. And so the Princess Theater is one, and it was outstanding. Another place on this cruise ship is the Princess Live Theater. It is much, much smaller than the Princess Theater, but it's kind of where they did all the trivia, and then they always have their morning live shows go from the Princess Theater. It was really nice. The trivia was really fun on this cruise. And then they had a huge variety. So it was really, really fun. Yeah, so if you enjoy trivia at all, definitely make sure that you go to that, both on the Majestic Princess or any of the Princess cruises. They do a really nice job with that. And then another, I don't know if you really consider it an entertainment venue, but there's movies under the stars on Princess. And so if you haven't cruised with Princess, if you saw on some of my videos, they have that huge, huge screen up on the very top deck. And then it is arranged so that you can sit on the open pool decks both right by the pool or up higher in your lounge chair and watch a movie. And so we really on this trip enjoyed Ford v Ferrari, and we had already seen that movie, but I like it, and so we watched it again. My husband and I both enjoyed it, and they give you a blanket and they give you a bag of popcorn, and it's just really nice, and it's close there. It's by where the burger and lobster grill are, so if you're a little hungry, and also the noodle chopsticks noodle bar, I think it's called, is right there. And so if you want anything else to eat, and if you're starving and you want some more, you can always order from your you know, your MedallionClass app if it's working, or you can just zip right into the buffet and get something too if you're really hungry, and you can bring it out and eat it while you watch the movie if you want. And so that's always really fun. We really enjoy that. And then the last place is, I don't know that you would consider this a venue either, but up there on the main level of the open pool deck there, right in the middle, they have, in the daytime, you know, you can walk there like in your swimsuit. It's kind of like between parts of the pool, but it's where they do the evening fountain show, and they always have pretty music, and they kind of coordinate it with the music, with the colors on the fountain, and they have things up on the big screen, the same one that you watch the movies under the stars on. And so that's always really, it's just fun to go to. It usually only lasts like 15 minutes. It's not long, but it's really fun to go to, and lots of the other ships have that as well. We like to catch that on the ships. And so those are the main entertainment venues. As far as where you would find live music on the ship this cruise, it was just in the Piazza and in the Crown Bar. And I don't know that I've always paid quite so much of attention. On this cruise, the Crown Bar goes right into the Crown Grill. It's just kind of one big open, very open area, and it is really a beautiful place. And on this cruise, the pianist, his name was David Juno, and he really played the piano beautifully. He not only knew beautiful music, but he had a lovely touch. He is very well trained, and he played beautiful music, and it was just such a pleasure. And then in the Piazza, there was also a nice lady, I can't remember her name. If you want to know, you can look at the patterns. We have a video about that. But and you can also see them on our website, letsgotraveltips.com. But she did a really nice job of singing, and a really large variety of music, and so there was really something to please everyone, and so that was really nice. I think that probably they would have a lot probably more live music if it wasn't for COVID and just the reduced you know, the reduced crew, the reduced passengers, but it was really, really nice. Nothing to complain about. They did a really, really nice job, so that was really good. Some of the quieter places that we found on the ship that weren't always crazy busy is one of our favorite places to just go sit when you're waiting for dinner time, or if it's after dinner time and you're not going to a show yet. The Piazza is so beautiful, so we always really like the Piazza. But then also next to the Piazza, kind of on one side, is the Vines Bar, kind of a wine taste, not wine tasting, you drink the wine there, but also on the other side you have the International Cafe, and then if you just keep walking along, then there's the International Cafe bar right there, and we really like that one, especially in the afternoon. It is so beautiful there because they has really big windows, and the sunshine just pours in, and it is just beautiful. You can hear the music on the Piazza. It's just open. It is really beautiful. So we really enjoyed those areas. On the back of the ship is the Wakeview Bar, and a lot of time during the day that was a very quiet area, and it's really nice because they had lots of tables and chairs so that you could still, if you pulled them right up to the edge, you could look for whales, you could just enjoy the ocean, and that was a really nice quiet place as well. I wanted to add though that, you know what, the library, if you can even call it that, I don't think you would call it a library, it's just a kind of a wide spot in the hall, and don't count on that for books on your cruises, okay? If you are expecting to read, either bring your Kindle or bring your books with you, because they don't have a large library at all on this ship. We went for a couple of weeks into the Mediterranean just in 2019 before COVID, and we went on the Emerald Princess, and that one had a really nice library, and the one on the Coral Princess is really good too. We did we went to Antarctica just before COVID started, and they have a very nice library there. Not as good though, not as many books as on the Emerald Princess though, if you're reading libraries. And so that was nice. Also, the Hollywood Conservatory is a really nice quiet area. That is an adults only area, and so that's very nice. But they have a nice pool there, they have a bar in there, and then they kind of have, that's kind of like in the center, and then all the way around the edge they have these little cabana, like little alcoves, and so you can have it all to yourself, and it's just windows, and so you can really enjoy the scenery from there. You can read there and just enjoy the ocean on Glacier Bay Day if you don't have a balcony, or if you don't really want to be out in the cold, or can't be out in the cold, or you can't stand for a long time. That is a perfect place to go look, just to look and take everything in. And so that is a really nice place, and it was always very quiet there. If you look at my videos on day 2, that is where they had the meet and greet for Cruise Critic, and so you get a little bit of a taste of it there, and I tried to video it a little bit more otherwise so that you could see it, but that is a very nice place to go, and so I highly recommend that. And the pool there also is adults only, and so on our cruise they were just having children that could be vaccinated on it, and so it wasn't, even if children had come in there, they wouldn't be that little, but it's just, I think, a nice quiet place when you're wanting a quiet place and things are back to normal and there's more children. I think and I love children. I just absolutely love children. I just think it's nice to have a nice quiet place also, and so there's that. And then I wanted to let you know also that when we think of places that weren't crowded, like the open decks weren't crowded. The only day that they seemed very crowded at all was just for part of the day on Glacier Bay Day. Other than that, it was not crowded at all. We were up on the top decks as we were sailing away out of Skagway, and I don't know that there was anybody else up there. If there were, it was just a couple of people. And so you can know that you can go for a nice walk, you can enjoy the views. That's a really nice quiet place. And they always have lounge chairs out so that you can just enjoy. So that's really what I thought of when I thought of not very crowded. So the specialty restaurants are next. The Crown Grill is the one that we ate at, and we usually try to eat at the Crown Grill. I have never had a bad meal at the Crown Grill. It is always exceptional. And so we thoroughly enjoyed that, and it was extra beautiful. I don't know, I felt like it was extra beautiful on this ship, just the way that they had appointed the space with the Crown Bar and just with it all being open and the beautiful music. It was really nice. So a few of you have asked if they had the pub lunch on this cruise, and this time they did not have it. For those of you that have not cruised with Princess yet, the pub lunch is what they call it when they open the Crown Grill so that anybody can come and eat. It doesn't cost anything extra, and they always have had fish and chips as one of the options. We really like it because they have malt vinegar as to go with it, and it's always really, really good. And then they would have, you could usually get shrimp with your fish and chip with your french fries instead. But on the last 2 cruises that we have been on, they haven't done that on the pub lunch day. I can't remember what they had instead, but it wasn't near as good. And so I'm hoping that Princess is working on bringing those fish and chips back. But the next cruise you go on, keep an eye out for the pub lunch. And so I'll let you know the next cruise that we go on if they have it or not. So just a heads up on that. They also have the Chinese Harmony restaurant, and we did not make a reservation and eat there. I just kind of forgot. And they also have the Bistro Sur Mer, I think is what it's called, and we did not either. In thinking about it, a 7-day cruise sounds like you can do everything you want, but we just kind of ran out of time to go see everything that we wanted to see and be able to eat in every venue that we wanted to eat at, and still be able to hit the nights that we wanted to hit at the main dining room. And so next time I'll do a better job of planning that out so that I can tell you about it a little bit more. So on Princess, they have a spa and they have the Enclave, and sorry, take time for that on this cruise either. I have had my hair done and my nails several times on Princess cruises, and they always do a really nice job. No complaints. They do a really good job. So I believe that their Enclave is also outstanding. We bumped into some people a couple of times on the cruise and made new friends with them, and they spent a lot of time in the spa. In fact, they chose to do that instead of going into ports on days because they had been before, and they said that it was just excellent. And so I think that we can recommend that to you. If that sounds like something that you would like to do, I think that you will be very pleased with it based on all the reviews that we heard while we were on the ship. So we've talked about the least crowded. Now the most crowded areas of the ship, I would say the day that we got off the ship in Ketchikan, there was a really, really long line to disembark. It's because a whole bunch of the excursions, rather than meeting in the Princess Theater, were meeting out on the dock. And so just be aware, get in the line a little bit earlier on that day, but also know they're not going to leave without you. Don't dilly-dally, but don't worry about it. If you're in a long line, it'll be okay. They'll wait for you. And then another really crowded place, you have to consider the Princess Theater was crowded. It was really full when the production shows were going on, but it was okay. It's a very large theater. The seating is very comfortable, and it was really nice. So don't worry, and you can take your drink in there. And so that's really nice. And if you want to order something, you can order a drink and they will bring it to you there. They won't bring it in the middle of a show though. So just order it before or after if you're going to stay and drink it after. Another thing that was kind of really busy a lot was up on the open deck there by the pool deck. The Chopsticks Noodle Bar was usually pretty busy, and so was the Burger and Lobster Grill. And the Burger and Lobster Grill is kind of a fun place because you can grab the food there and then just go sit down, and there's great views out of both sides. And so that's really nice. The Burger Grill, they have hamburgers and hot dogs and French fries, and then they have some street tacos. And on their French fries, they'll also put like some chili and cheese and some different toppings for you if you want. And then the lobster part, they do have lobster rolls there. I guess I should have tried one, and I apologize that I didn't, but I'll do that next time. I promise I will get better at this. Thank you for sticking with me. Then the other place that we really liked that was usually kind of crowded, was over when you're in the buffet. If you eat there anywhere close to a normal eating time, it's going to be really busy. The nice thing is they had both sides open for seating, and so you could find something, but it was really, really busy. We often had to go further down to find seating, so just know the buffet is really busy. But they handled it well, and I think it was just a little bit slower with them having to serve you. But it was okay. It wasn't bad, but just know that it is really crowded there. I wanted to tell you a couple of our bests. I think that the best meal that we had on this ship was at Alfredo's. That's the Italian restaurant, and they have quite authentic Italian food. It's really good. Our pizza was like what you would expect if you walked up to one of those little mama's places, where the grandma is cooking in Italy, like in Sorrento. That's what you're going to get. And so it was really delicious. They did a really nice job there. The photography this time was actually really good. Our favorite dining room is the Concerto dining room. And that's just kind of a lot to do with the service and how attentive they are, and just taking good care of your meal and making it a lovely experience. And I really like that, once again, they have nice big windows, and they have, big windows over there in the Allegro, and the Allegro is beautiful. But we just really somehow, by the end of the trip, had fallen in love with the Concerto dining room. And you know what, that reminds me, I forgot to tell you that they do have the chef's Lumiere table in the Allegro dining room. And so if you want to do that right when you get on the ship, call and get a reservation, because they don't have that in the MedallionClass app yet. And if they tell you they're not doing it, call back again, because someone had posted a question after one of our videos, and so I called up and asked customer service and then also the dining line if we could make a reservation for that, and they said they weren't doing them on our cruise. But then, as you saw in my video, we went, and one evening they were doing it. And so track it down if that's something you want to do. Double check, and even if you have to, go over to the Allegro dining room and ask, okay? That's all I can think of to tell you about our cruise. If you've got any more questions, you can just put them in the comments below. Also, don't forget that on Monday night, September 13th, this coming Monday, at 7 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to have our first ever live. And so bring your questions about Alaska or about any other cruising, or bring any suggestions, comments that you've got to make about it, and we would love to have you. So if you have subscribed to our channel and with the notification bell, you will get a link sent to you for that. If you haven't subscribed, will you please subscribe? And that way you will get a link. If not, just go to our channel and there will be a link there to join our live. And then what it does is it'll just have us there actually talking to you. And you can put your questions in the box and we will answer your questions the best we can. And we really are looking forward to getting to know you all a little bit better. So please be sure to come. We'd appreciate it. So I will be talking to you again soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.